Hey, what's up, guys? It's Mr. Gooden from Gooden's Math. Today we're going to talk about solving multi-step equations, all right? Like the one we have in front of us. Now, to solve multi-step equations, basically we have to follow a couple of steps here. The first step is we want to look to distribute, combine like terms, and then if there's a variable on both sides, we want to bring the variable to one side, and then we're going to typically have to just solve a two or one-step equation after that, all right? Now, essentially what we're doing is just simplifying each side of the equation first, and then getting the variable to one side, and then isolating the variable. All right. Now, the first step we're going to do is we're going to distribute. All right. So we're going to look at the left side of the equation, then we're going to look at the right side of the equation. A good indicator for distributive property is typically parentheses. All right. Once you have parentheses, you're probably going to have to distribute in an equation, but that's not always the case. But if you follow the steps, typically you'll be fine. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is look to distribute. And when over here I see parentheses right here, I see a negative next to the parentheses. And anytime I see a negative next to the parentheses, I like to tell kids to always just put a 1 there really quickly. Once you put a 1 there, that kind of reminds you to distribute that negative to both terms inside the parentheses, right? So we're not doing anything with this 5x, so we're just going to bring it down. And then we're going to take this -1 and distribute it to both of these numbers in here, or both of these terms. -1 times x is going to be negative x, or negative 1x. If you want to put a 1, go ahead. And then negative times negative 18, guys. Remember that the sign in front of it represents it. So this is like -1 and times negative 18, which is going to be positive 18. All right? And then from there, we're going to look at the other side. We just did distributive property. So let's look at the other side. We have distributive property over here. Well, look, we got some parentheses here. Let's go ahead and distribute this -2, guys. That -2, we're going to distribute to both of these terms in here. Remember, this sign in front of it represents it. So we're going to distribute it to both of these terms. We wind up with 6 minus 2x minus 30. All right? Oh, that's an ugly 30. Let me make a better 30 there. All right? Minus 30. All right. Now, once we distribute it, we want to look on both sides now. We're going to combine like terms, right? We're looking on the left side here, right? Now, when we combine like terms, we're going to combine as is, all right? Typical mistakes I find students doing is that they think they have to do inverse operations over here. Like if this is minus x, they'll plus x on both sides. No, guys. We're just going to combine it as is over here. So 5x minus x is going to be 4x, all right? And now this 18, we can't combine this with these, all right? Remember, like terms have to have the same variables raised to the same exponents, all right? Or if we have constants like this, which are just numbers by themselves, we could combine those as well. But we can't combine this 18 with the x's, so we're just going to write plus 18. Just bring it down. All right, that's one side of the equation simplified. Now we're going to go to the other side and finish up that side. Now over here, we have no more x's to combine with, but we do have constants. 6 and negative 30. All right, 6 and negative 30 winds up being negative 24. All right, 6 minus 30 is negative 24. We can't combine this x with anything or this negative 2x, so we're just going to bring it down. Don't forget that minus in front of it, that negative 2x. All right, now from there, what we're going to do is, let me go back to green. We are going to bring the variable to one side. Now, it doesn't matter which variable you want to bring over. We got to bring the 2x over, or the negative 2x over, or the 4x over. It doesn't matter. But I like to tell students to bring this smaller to the bigger. It'll help later on down the line when you guys get into inequalities to have to avoid flipping the sign with negatives. But also, students just have issues with negatives a lot of times. They forget them many times. It happens all the time, all right? So I like to say bring the smaller to the bigger. So if we look at 4x and negative 2x, negative 2x is the smaller number, so we're going to bring this over here. And whenever we bring the variable to one side, it's typically going to be just adding or subtracting, all right? We're going to do the inverse operation of what we're moving. All right, so for instance, we have a negative 2x here. What are we going to do? We're going to add 2x. And that makes this 0, but whatever we do to one side, we got to do the other. We're going to do it to the x on this side. All right, 4x plus 2x winds up being 6x plus 18 equals negative, oh man, my pen. Let me fix that. All right, equals negative 24. All right, now we have this right here. Now we have a two-step equation, guys. Two-step equation. We got to get rid of this 18 to isolate the variable and get 6x by itself. So what do? We go ahead and we let me get a different color. We minus 18 from this side and minus 18 from this side. Gone. With 6x is equal to negative 24 plus negative 18 is going to be negative 42. All right. And then from here, we got to get x by itself. So we're going to do our inverse operation and get rid of the 6 by dividing by 6. And again, what we do to one side, we have to do to the other side. And we wind up with x is equal to -7, guys. And that is how we solve multi-step equations, all right? Follow those steps, and you'll be fine with your equations, all right? We look to distribute, combine like terms, bring the variable to one side, and then we have a two-step equation or one-step equation depending on the equation goes. All right, guys? Guys, thanks a lot for joining in. If you have any questions, leave some comments below, and I can answer them for you guys. All right. Talk to you guys next time. See you in the next lesson.